Hey gamer girls, my name is Gunty and today we are talking about some concerning new developments regarding the biggest PC game retailer, Steam. But before I get into that, 97% of my viewers aren't subscribed to this channel, so make sure you subscribe to this channel if you want to keep up to date on all my latest videos. And with that, I'll get back to it. Now, the PC game giant Steam has put out some new rules regarding content that can be published to their storefront and distributed among its users. And the controversial part of the rule is just how vague the rule is itself. If you're unaware, Steam put out a statement basically stating that anything released on their platform needs to be in line with the standards set by their payment processors, like Chase, Visa, MasterCard, and whoever. Along with this, a number of games were banned and delisted from the Steam storefront. And honestly, none of these are things that people are going to be really missing so far. It's mostly just very risque, very provocative, adult-based games. A lot of weird, hyper-specific, niche adult content. So it's nothing most people are going to be noticing missing. And honestly, it's not like a great loss of the Library of Alexandria or anything, that those megabytes of furry games. And I know many of you are saying, I didn't even know that Steam had adult content on the store page. And what I mean by when I say adult content, I'm not talking about Call of Duty. I'm talking about a level beyond that, beyond an NC-17 rating, an X-rated content, if you will. And yes, Steam does have lots of X-rated games on their platform. You just have to change one of your settings to be able to see them. You can't, if you download Steam and you go to the store page, you're not going to see any of that stuff. It's hidden behind the wall, that weird curtain that was at the old video store, if you will. The only reason I know that is because if you want to play Fear and Hunger, you've got to turn that setting on to be able to see it and purchase it from the store. Now, like I said, I don't think it's any big issue that a bunch of X-rated furry material was removed from Steam. Honestly, they were lucky enough to have it on there in the first place, and I honestly can't believe it was there in general. And it is quite common for these payment processors to try and stay away from adult rated material, stay away from other, illicit or controversial things. Like if you have a cannabis-based business, you usually can't use these payment processors or banking groups. You have to look at alternative means for managing your money. My main issue with this whole thing isn't that Steam is enforcing rules regarding these strange, deranged, X-rated games. My issue is the vague rule set that Steam has put forth, stating that basically, hey, if you are going to be in line with Steam rules, you need to be following the rules of these payment processors. And hard as I tried in doing research, I could not find anywhere on the MasterCard website that outlined their guidelines for video games that are using their payment processing. I understand the general idea that if I were able to produce a game that were pushing the boundaries in terms of X-rated content and doing something that is seen as societally strange, I am likely to have my game removed. But where is the line? Where is the set of demarcations that allow me to understand whether or not I'm pushing the boundary too far? Right? In Mass Effect, you can have an interspecies relationship. Is that too far? Is that pushing the boundary a little bit too far for MasterCard? I mentioned Fear and Hunger before, earlier in this video, and does MasterCard agree with the idea of being able to die of anal bleeding in a video game? I don't know, and that's the issue. I don't know. Steam needs to set forth a set of guidelines and rules for their games. And again, I'm not against removal of gratuitous, gross, X-rated material. Again, Steam has every right to do so. I just think it's weird to not put out a guideline or a set of rules that is in keeping with Steam standards that can better help developers produce their games in a way that doesn't get them removed. Let's say, for the sake of argument, I'm a game developer and I've got a new indie game I'm making where it is CEO Simulator, where you're the CEO of a credit card company and your job is to ruin as many lives as possible and make as much money as humanly possible. Am I going to be subject to the moral implications of what MasterCard deems is correct? Are they going to come down on my game? Is Steam just going to do whatever they say? If the payment processors ask for a game to be removed, does Steam just remove it immediately? And on this channel, I've been committed to championing indie games, independent game studios, and developers that are trying to make something interesting, make something that goes against the grain, and that is something that is unique and interesting experiences that aren't just these live service drivel. And my main issue is this isn't going to hurt the big guys. This is only going to hurt the little guys. This vagary is going to hurt indie developers way more than any of the AAA guys, because they'll get to put whatever they want in their games. Like I said, Mass Effect can have cross-species sexual interactions in their game all they want, but because they're EA, it's never going to get taken down. Now, at the end of the day, Steam reserves the right to have whatever they want on their storefront. It's theirs. I'm not some weird psycho hyper communist art pro guy that's like every service has to provide every game and you need to have the mommy milker kangaroo furry game on the service. You don't have to do that. And I think Steam honestly could probably trim some stuff up. But my thing is there just needs to be clear defined rules set out forth such that everything is kind of fair, right? If I'm a developer and I'm going to put on something on Steam, I want to be sure that it's going to be able to be purchased, that it's going to be on the storefront. So when I go to promote the game and I'm pushing the link to the Steam page, people are actually going there and being able to purchase my game. If Steam doesn't want to have my game on there, that's fine. I will go put it somewhere else. There's a bunch of other publishers that'll take more risque games, and there are publishers that specialize in mostly adult-based gaming. It's all about transparency and doing our best to create a level playing field so that everyone understands what they need to do to best promote their game and release their game and get it into the hands of their fan base and that everyone can enjoy, okay? And I'm not trying to take freedoms away from anyone or anything. I'm just concerned about the idea that these payment processors could have a vested interest in a certain AAA game, and then all of a sudden here comes an indie game that threatens their margins and their bottom line, and they go, hey Steam, hey, let's get rid of that. That violates our policy because we said so, and there isn't really a policy. It's just based on vibes apparently. Rules are good for allowing for accountability, right? If Steam removes a game, they need to be able to point to a rule and say, hey, this game was removed for X, Y, and Z here based on our rule set. They knew going into this that if they were going to publish this game, they were going to get dinged on this. And then we can hold those game developers accountable and say, hey, you produced a game and you tried to publish to Steam something that they said, hey, we're not going to put this out there if you publish this here. And it goes the other way. If Steam removes a game, we're like, hey, Steam, that doesn't seem in line with that rule. I don't think that you're using that way. And then we can hold Steam accountable and be like, hey, you are removing this game for basically no reason or for some weird shady reason that we don't understand. You need to do something about this. Now again, I think I need to reiterate this because I'm going to have a bunch of Lord Gaben fans in my comments. I do not care about the games that were reviewed. I looked at the list, nothing was lost here. That was some pure degenerate stuff, okay? I am not sad that those games are gone. My biggest issue here is about the precedent it is setting by having this loose, vague set of rules here that I don't think are easy to follow or intuitable. But anyway, that's all I really wanted to say. Thank you for watching this video. It makes my day when you guys click on this video, leave a like, and comment sharing your opinions. And I want to know your opinions. What do you think about this? Do you think this is, a back step for Steam? Is this something dangerous that could be a slippery slope to something worse? Do you think Steam will be working closely to put out some kind of rule set here soon? Let me know down in the comments down below. And again, I say this at the end of every single video. If you didn't like this video, this is very important. Make sure you leave a dislike, okay? That lets me know that you didn't like this video and it hurts my feelings oh so bad. And then you need to make sure you leave the longest hate comment you can possibly imagine. I'm going to put a word limit of 300 words, okay? So in 300 words, you need to tell me how much you hate this video, and oh, I'm going to get so angry and cranky if you do that, okay? So please do that. It's going to ruin my day absolutely 100%. Please, please, please do that. Okay, and with that, I thank you guys for watching this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.